What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the KellyCast Thursday night game preview between the Bears and Commanders. It's hot as hell down here. You wonder why I'm wearing a jacket. You know I pull for the
I
Commanders.
was wondering why you were wearing a jacket.
You know I pull for the Commanders. This is their color. I don't got anything else in their color.
You're making
Why-
me hot. Can you take
Why
that?
are you wearing a loser's jersey?
He's a loser?
They scored 3 points.
Is that it?
That looks like a big L to me.
It is. It's backwards, though.
3 points against the
It is
Tennessee Titans?
terrible. It's
What was
terrible.
up with that?
They need to take Joe Burrow out. They need to put him on the sideline. They need to let him heal. They need to stop putting him up against monsters.
You remember what happened with RG3, right? Washington ruined his career. So hopefully this isn't the same with Joe Burrow.
He looks bad. There is something. I told you there's something off about him, and I don't know. I can't put my finger if it's the injury, if it's the team, if there's something going on.
It's
Personally,
been the injury more than likely because it's been lingering.
It's more than likely the injury, but it's got Bengals fans absolutely freaking baffled. What the hell are you doing, man? You just paid this man over $200 million. Protect your investment.
Should have thought about that before you dished out all that money. And then Jamar Chase came out and said, I'm open. I'm always effing open.
It is.
And he had a lot of catches, too. I looked at his stats. Like, it's not like he wasn't targeted. You know, the problems in Cincinnati are the same problems they tried to make prevalent here in Buffalo, and it didn't work. So, you know, they're just on to the next team, That's what these rumors and media stuff do, and we're obviously supporting that right now, but it's only when you're losing, Mike. When you're winning, nobody's gonna talk down on you when you're winning.
Well, that's the case in life, man. It doesn't matter. You could do 1,000 good things,
How do you win in life? I haven't been able to get that yet.
The second you don't for that person, they're upset and they're talking about you.
Bears and Commanders this week. I wish it was a better game, but I think when the schedule makers were making their game, I think they expected the Bears to be better, and the Commanders really when they perform bad against Buffalo, but they're not a bad football team.
They're not
overall.
the god awful team in this one, unfortunately.
Now, do you remember if you picked the Bears last week? Because I can't remember if you did. I know I picked the Broncos to win.
I think I stuck with you and picked the Broncos.
I think your dad went Bears. But it did not end up working. You know,
either way. Yeah, either way, man. What the hell?
Remember, we said it was going to be a snooze fest. Look at those points. The final score was 31-28. So
yeah,
it was a high-scoring game.
It was.
Chicago looked to be doing good, but let's talk Washington first. They played up against the Philadelphia Eagles last weekend. You and me both picked the Eagles. It worked out, but that game, very good, goes into overtime. After the Commanders score on the final play of regulation. Final score in that one, 34-31, after Jake Elliott hits the field goal. Howell didn't do too bad, 29-41 with a touchdown. You want that completion percentage to go up, obviously. But they played mistake-free football this week. That's why they were able to stay in this game. No interceptions, no fumbles. The offensive line continues to haunt them. Sacked 5 times this week. 29 times this season. Number 1 sacked quarterback in the league.
Would that even be considered Swiss cheese at this point? Is it not more than Swiss cheese?
It's like a turnstile.
Like
when you're going into Darien Lake and you got the
everyone's getting through. They're just counting numbers. Click, click, click. Oh, in my day and age, it wasn't the turnstile. It was click, click, click. No, it was turnstiles.
Scary Terry goes off, 8 receptions, 86 yards. As a team, they just had a really good performance. And it was a divisional game. We weren't expecting that great of a game from Washington, and they showed out.
And against a very tough opponent.
Exactly. Philadelphia's been lights out this year. They weren't lights out the first couple weeks, so they're still kind of working on their tweaks. They lost their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator after making the Super Bowl. So the Eagles are still in a state of flux, and they're one of the only 2 undefeated teams in the league right now.
And we know what it's like dealing with a new offensive coordinator, winning the division and everything, but still, We know what it's like. We know the growing pains.
If I had to give you something that the Commanders need to do better, it's in the run game. Brian Robinson only had 45 rushing yards this week. He led the team. Also a touchdown. But the Commanders are just in a tough spot, man. Like, what are you going to do? I say it all the time. You can only play who's in front of you. They play in the NFC East, and it's a hard division to play in, especially right now. Even when your Cowboys aren't blowing out the Patriots, they're still a really good football team, especially on that front seven. Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence, hell, even who was it that was making plays the other day? Defensive end. It wasn't him.
Not Lawrence. You're not talking about.
Nope.
Are you talking about Flower Jr.? He's on the defense.
Fowler Jr. Yes.
That's why I say Flower.
Fowler. Don't worry, I'm cutting that. I don't like to look stupid. But the Commanders, Mike, they're a good team. They're like, I can't say good with their record. They're an average team. And
they're a good average team.
Samantha Howell. You know the shout out. Samantha Howell.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty good.
They've been all right. Hopefully they can do something, right? Bieniemy's there. Why can't he make something work on this offensive line? Bring in a tight end, bring in an extra blocker, do something. That's what Seattle did against the Giants last night, Mike. And it's the reason that they ended up winning 24-3 because they had extra help. They knew their tackles were hurt, so they gave their line extra help.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of help, and maybe there's, it sounds silly at a pro age, but some team building things, man. You got to get them to buy it. You got to get everybody to buy into the system. Maybe there's some players that aren't bought into the system. You don't need the best players. You need the right players.
I would argue you need a combination of the two.
Yes. Sure. You probably need a combination of the two, but to quote Herb Brooks, you don't need the best players. You need the right players.
Tell me about the Bears, Mike, because, oh my goodness, colossal failure of a franchise.
Well, first off, I didn't want to talk about this game. He forced me into it. And then he forced me to pick a team that I wanted to talk about. And,
you picked the Bears.
And I picked the Bears. They're just... How do you lose what were they up? 28 points? 21 points. They were up 21 points. End up losing the game 28-31.
Yep.
By an aged out quarterback and a coach who couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag this year. All he can do is bag on his players.
You love hating on the Denver Broncos.
I have this year, yeah. I didn't always.
Last year too.
Okay, maybe. Okay, the last couple of years. Yeah, well, they had the old man at the helm again.
Did you not like Russ when he was in Seattle?
I don't think I was always 100% on the Russ train. I think that I didn't dislike him.
Okay.
But the second he got to Denver...
When the reports started coming out that he was like a bad teammate and everybody had negative things to say about him?
No, I never even read any of that stuff. So, honest to God, but you could see the fakeness in him, and I
don't
think
like that kind of thing.
I just can't get behind it. Like, I get you're on a new team, you want to try to pander him, but it's just I can't explain it. The way that he does it is just
Broncos country.
That's right.
but Mike, it's not only the fact that the Bears were up 21 points. They were up 21 with 14 seconds left in the third quarter.
With Fields looking good, with 12 of 12, 3 passing touchdowns, ended with 4 on the entire day. I mean,
his best day as a pro.
His best day this year by far. By far this year. And lay an egg.
Yep. And the running game got going too, Mike. Khalil Herbert decided to go off 100 yards. Again, not Khalil Mack, all right?
Yeah.
Mack had 6 sacks against the Raiders. And he had 0 going into that game, Mike. He's now tied for the league lead in sacks after 1 game.
That is amazing. We were talking about that. I was just like, I wish we could have ever had him in the backfield.
It's about time the Chargers had a good defensive performance. They've been garbage this year.
They needed it for sure.
And the Bears just had so much going right? DJ Moore was finally utilized correctly, 8 receptions, 131 yards. You know what did happen this week for the Bears, and I thought it was going to work? Chase Claypool was inactive. They're like, you know what? We don't even want you playing for our team. He has a quote. I don't know if you ever heard this or not. It was memed for a while. but you kind of stay current with the memes. This is a little bit old school. He had an interview when he was had to be his rookie year, maybe his second year, and he said he was a top 3 wide receiver in the league. In the league, and that has haunted him forever, and it continues to haunt him to this day.
That's why you don't. That's why you don't hear me saying things like "I'm the best guy for the job" when
I
I'm
love
not.
when people
But
have
yeah,
confidence.
have the confidence for sure. But like,
don't go in the national media saying that. But how did the Bears lose, Mike? Really? Like, look at these numbers. You have them at the bottom of your screen here.
yeah, 2 turnovers, punted twice, a whopping 10 penalties. That was obviously a problem.
Yeah.
But still, it's not. I don't know, 10 penalties.
It's not
It's
the highest
high,
in the
but
world.
it's not like.
But it's
Definitely needs work.
I think what we need to know from that, because we didn't get to see this game,
right.
what we need to see is, when are those penalties happening, right? Are they
Yeah,
big
they're
plays?
key
Are
places.
they first
Right,
downs?
right.
50% on third down, guys, which is, again, better than league average. I know it's a little confusing because you think 50%, like, you think as a person 50% is bad, but in the NFL 50%
50 on
is
third
good.
down is good, and then how do you outgain somebody in yardage by 160 yards and lose a game? I got no answers. I'm asking. I got no answers.
They don't have any answers either. And I'm going to take a page out of the great Mike Kelly's book, and I'm going to say, for the foreseeable future, I am not picking the Chicago Bears. Give me the Washington Commanders. They are the home team on Thursday Night Football. Can the Bears win? Is there a world where the Bears win? I think there definitely is. I really think.
And they proved that last week.
They proved that they know
can...
how to score. They know what the end zone is. They're not allergic to it. But, man, I don't know what the problem is. I wish I could pinpoint something. Is it the coach? Fields had a good day, so you can't really blame him. I mean, he did have a fumble that was returned for a touchdown that kind of hurt. But at the end of the day, I don't think it was all his fault that they lost.
No, I got no answers, but I'm feeling a little on the crazy train today.
Oh man, I'll be honest. I thought about this game for a while.
I'm just feeling on the crazy train today, and
how about
I'm gonna say that
before you go into this, I want to just give you some advice, because we're all about helping here on the KellyCast.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do the home away matchup thing. Are we gonna do that?
Nope, not that. Thursday Night Football this year. Look at the matchups.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the way it's going, the trend is the better team has won every time. Right? The Eagles won. The 49ers beat the Giants.
So you're telling me the script writers have that they're gonna have it all good teams all year round?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to lean you in
you're trying to help me
too many weeks in a row, and I'm not liking it, and I'm leaving.
You're trying to help me save me from myself. Well, sir, you're not gonna save me from myself, because I told you I'm aboard the crazy train like Ozzy. Woo woo. I'm gonna pick that the Bears have another good week offensively, and that just things go wrong for the Commanders this week.
They might have a good week offensively and still lose.
They squeak one out. They get their first win of the season. Call me crazy.
Do they want to win?
I don't think that they want to, but I think that they're gonna show that they want to.
I read that if things don't turn around for the Bears, that they're considering starting Tyson Bagent, the rookie that they drafted later on in the season, of course. But really, what it comes down to, what do you do as an organization, right? When you have Justin Fields, he has weapons around him, he does well, and you end up with the first overall and the second overall pick, which they're slated to get right now. By the way, are you drafting a quarterback? Do you trade Justin Fields? What is his trade value, if anything? It's a bad predicament for the Bears to be in right now, really. You would think when you're tanking, it's clear, like when the Jags got Trevor Lawrence, right? It was clear that like they could not compete in these games. They just couldn't do it. And obviously getting Trevor Lawrence helped them out a massive bit. But this isn't what the Bears need as a quarterback. They kind of need more than that.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I've been saying all along, and you've been arguing with me all along that against me, of course, but I've been arguing that I don't see what everybody else sees in Justin Fields. I don't think he's the guy. I don't know what it is. Call it instinct. I don't know. I just don't see him as a guy. I never did. I see him. He's a great scrambler. I'm sure he's a good leader, a good friend in the locker room, but I don't see what everybody else sees.
Well, I will tell you, I didn't see a lot of great football being played by him this year until that game against Denver. So
sure, he's got sparks.
Yeah, but when you're young, sparks are different than when you're old. Like when Fitzpatrick goes to Miami at the tail end of his career and he wins some games, it's all good, but you're never going to get a better Fitzpatrick than that moment. With Justin Fields, it's the opposite. And remember who changed this game? With everybody saying, Josh, Patrick, Allen, because he changed the way that scouts look at players, that coaches look at players. Mm-hmm. You're not really uncoachable anymore. I don't think that's really a trait unless you have off the field issues and things like that. Coaching can fix a lot of issues. So I think that's the upside with Justin Fields. He's young,
sure, mechanical,
and he shows some good things. I'm not saying he's the guy, and I'm not saying he's not the guy. But that's the question that the Bears had to ask themselves. And based off of the way they started this season, it kind of looks like the decision's being made for them.
You can also very much ruin a quarterback if you're putting him in situations he's not ready for. Mm-hmm. And the Bears are currently putting him in situations he's not ready for. He's the kind of guy who needs to have a solid offensive line around him.
What's that?
Look, I mean, well, before Buffalo's game, I would say take a look at Miami's, but
we're still bagging on Miami. It's the same day, guys. So we still got Miami on the mind.
It's only Tuesday. We're still happy about it.
So we're starting week 5, opposing teams. I don't know who's winning right now. I'll toss up the graphic. I think I know who's winning, and I think I'm not gonna like it, but the sun's gonna come up tomorrow.
It might be a rainy morning.
I'm gonna have to kick your ass at Madden again just to feel good.
It's the only way you can feel good.
But guys, we want to thank you for watching this video here on the KellyCast channel. Again, there's 4 videos per week. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Find us on the Facebook page, which I've been a lot more active on. I know you've been seeing the posts, Mike. We talk about them all the time. Make sure things are current, things are getting out there for quick thoughts. Obviously, the Jags game that we forgot to do the predictions for went up on the Facebook page. Also, I do want to mention, I forgot to mention this last video, we didn't mention our Bills prediction against the Dolphins. I want to confirm to you all that we all had the Bills winning. So that, if you're wondering why the number in the win-loss graphic is what it is, that's what that is. Again, thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one.